Are you having problems identifying the ghosts in Phasmophobia? Well, that seems pretty fair. There are 24 ghosts, and I'm going to explain you very fast every single ghost behavior, and you will learn how to ID them pretty quickly every single round and finish your contracts without dying. So what I will do today is to put the evidence given way lower than normally. For example, 2 or 1. This way you know that I don't need 3 evidences to know which ghost it is. Let's get started with the first round. For the ease of this video, I'm going to play on Tanglewood. I would assume most people have already played this map. For equipment, this is what I always use. Everything on tier 3 except UV light. It is because I prefer the handheld UV light, this one right here, except the tier 3 version. Because you can place this down at a door and you wouldn't have to look at it. And tier 3 has this possibility, but I don't prefer it. So let's get started with the first round. Well, before starting, what I like to do is to grab the EMF reader, the photo camera for money, and then the UV light so I can identify everything. If you didn't notice yet, the fourth item you can hold on your hand is a lighter. A lighter you can use while it's dark and the ghost is hunting, and you won't get chased by the ghost if you use this as light. You can also grab, for example, night vision goggles if you have those, but I prefer to have the breaker always on, or just turn it on at the start of every map. So the first one we're going to talk about is the spirit. Well, the spirit is pretty simple. It is a very passive ghost, and when it burns, for example, a crucifix, it will be a little bit longer normally. It's pretty much a baseline ghost and doesn't have much. To find this ghost, you must find a EMF level 5 writing and spirit box. What I recommend you do is with EMF 5, you just use such device and walk around until you find the ghost location. After you have done this, you can easily get EMF 5 by leaving EMF there and having to look at it every single so many moments. Like right now, it touched the light. You can actually get a UV from lights right now, so that's pretty cool. You can see that it does like to do things with the light right here. I'm just going to place down my equipment right here and continue talking about spirit. For example, you put down the EMF just like that, and you also need spirit box. Spirit box, the best way to get it is get an interaction at the door and then easily grab it in the dark. You can only get spirit box in the dark. Do remember that. Writing, I recommend you place it down immediately because getting writing is going to take longer. Even though it has done an interaction at the door, it's gonna still take a little bit longer. What I like to do for beginners is to just grab the crucifix, place it down so you don't kill yourself. This is how you ensure that you can complete the optional objectives, which pay you a lot more. So right now I'm just going to place down the crucifix. This one is pretty good, but you can also grab 2 of them. And you gotta need to make sure that it has reach over the whole room. With writing book, you also have a reach. Just put it down wherever you can. Closest to the door is the best, of course. Turn off the light, sit here at the door, and then keep spamming these buttons if you have text mode. Otherwise, keep talking to the ghost like where are you and everything, and it should go off. The second one is actually sometimes my favorite ghost. It is the Wraith. The Wraith has EMF 5, spirit box, and dots projector. With the dots projector, I'm going to show you a quick tip because the spirit box is not working. With the dots projector, I recommend you place it down on the wall so it can spread everywhere, and then use a video camera so you can look from it at a distance. But with a Wraith, they cannot walk into salt. It is impossible. So what you need to do is to place salt at the door, and if you see someone stepping in, just cross off Wraith. It is not the Wraith. So right here I have my video camera, which is pretty useful for later, especially because we need ghost orbs. Do we have any ghost orbs? This is what I like to do. I mean, it did an interaction here, doesn't mean that it is inside the garage. So what we need to do is turn off the light here. You can see a lot better. And I have a quick tip. Use the whole camera instead of the stand, and it might be a lot easier. Ghost orbs, right click, hold it. And then you can see that it is inside the kitchen. So now I know it's in the kitchen. I can position it like this. And then put down the salt at the door here. And also a little bit here. And if it steps in the cell, doesn't matter if it gets UV or not. But if it steps, it's not a Wraith. You can see that it is not a Wraith. You can also get money here and test for UV. Right here it did an interaction, that's EMF2. Let's see for fingerprints. Yes, it is fingerprints. So right here, let's select ultraviolet. It used to be called fingerprints, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it down here. You can see an EMF4, which doesn't mean EMF5, of course. And the dust projection you just put down right here, for example. Then it just spreads the whole room, and you don't have to be here. The only time you have to be here is with the Goryo, which I'm going to explain later. The third one is the Phantom. The Phantom blinks a lot slower before it appears again. That means it blinks, it disappears for longer, and then it appears again. The opposite is the Oni. The Oni stays visible longer, blinks very fast, and then you see it again. The Phantom is the opposite. And with the Phantom, if you make photos, 9 out of 10 times, the ghost is not going to be on it. And sometimes you do still get ghost photo. And then also special things with the event. But I usually use it inside a hunt to see if how the ghost blinks. Also, the Phantom can walk directly to you, the Wraith too, and the Banshee, and do an interaction no matter where you are inside the house. Sort of. The twins can also do an interactions on the other side of the house and then there, because there are two ghosts, sort of. But that's not the same. You can test it by putting down salt somewhere weird, and then if it steps on it, it's not a Wraith, of course, but you can test the Banshee and Phantom with it. But I'm not going to talk about it, it's a little bit more complicated. The fourth one is Poltergeist. A Poltergeist just throws everything and loves to do that, but it's hard to know if that is the ghost. Right here you can see object thrown. Well, if a lot of objects are thrown and very hard and everything, it's probably a Poltergeist. It can throw many objects at once. So if there are many objects at once thrown, it might be a Poltergeist or twin, because you can throw 2 items at once, but that's a little bit random. The fifth one is Banshee. And a Banshee actually targets one of the players in a multiplayer session. And that's completely random. One of them, the Banshee can't kill, and the other, it can kill. It can only kill you with the cursed object, by the way. Just saying that before you think that it's wrong. Well, Phantom, you might want to use the parabolic microphone, aim at the Banshee, Banshee. And it might do a scream. Well, sort of. It likes to sing and everything. If you hear whispering, it's probably a Myling. And you have another scream type, which is the Deogen. You can get an aggressive scream on Spirit Box, and then it's immediate interrogation. But that's another item, of course. Like I said, it can target you, and it can walk directly to you, so you can get interactions anywhere in the house, and it can be quite strange. But the Banshee, easiest to notice it is, of course, if it's targeting only one player, if you notice that in a multiplayer session, or you have singing a lot. It likes to sing a lot. Now we got the Jinn. Well, pretty simple. The Jinn itself cannot turn off the breaker, and it will be faster on a bigger distance. So let's say I stand here, the ghost stands there. The closer it is to you, the slow, not completely slower, but it sprints towards you directly, and then it becomes slow. The Revenant is always fast when it sees you. The Thaye is always fast in the beginning and gets slower over time, how older it gets. The Deogen is completely fast all the time until it gets very close, and then it almost slows down. Deogen is the easiest to run away from, but the hardest to hide from. You can't hide with the Deogen, it always finds your hiding spot. So right now I need to focus on game, where you got ultraviolet. And of course I need to move some equipment, because we still haven't completely tested for everything. Well, the Mare is pretty simple. The Mare cannot turn off lights. It likes to break lights. For example, this light, if it breaks a lot, if that light breaks, it is probably a Mare. That's an event, by the way. I was scared for a moment. It's probably somewhere here. Yeah, the Mare likes to break lights. If that happens a lot, this is a lot of events, by the way. It has higher interactions. The next one is a Revenant. Like I said, Revenant, the easiest way to see it is, of course, the line of sight, and then it becomes fast. And no, it will not slow down. It will really hunt you and kill you. Revenant is probably one of the most dangerous ones, because it's immediately slow when it doesn't see you, but it's very fast when it does see you. Oh yeah, by the way, the twins is 120% for one twin, and 100%... No, wait. Yeah, with 120% speed for one twin. The other twin is 90%. So one twin is a little bit slower, the other one is faster. If the speed is very fixed like that, you know it's the twin. The Shade doesn't like to do a lot of interactions, especially if you're in the ghost room. It's pretty passive and shy. It doesn't give you a lot of events like I just gotten, so I would assume it's never always certain that it's not a Shade. Well, I got Ultraviolet, so I know for sure it's not a Shade. With evidence, make sure you always check for ghost orbs. And I haven't selected one. Good one, I only have 2 evidence. But the reason why I kept searching is because the Mimic has 4 evidences and not 3. If you go to Ghost and then the Mimic, you will see it has Spirit Box, Ultraviolet, and Freezing Temps. Well, I gotta tell ya, it also has ghost orbs and always. Even though if you have 0 evidence, if you see 1 ghost orb, 0 evidence, it's the Mimic directly, and it's no doubt. But the Mimic always has ghost orbs. So let's say I got Ultraviolet and ghost orbs. I still need to find Freezing and Spirit Box before it is complete. Let's talk about the 10th ghost, which is the Demon. The Demon, if it likes to hunt in a lot more. And if you have a Crucifix, what you can do is, I'm going to show you a very good tip, but I first need to test for Freezing. This is how I always test if it is a demon or not. So to test if it's a demon, well, this is a way too big room. But let's say you have this room. Or the garage, maybe. Well, if you have this bar right here, and if I put my crucifix down like this, and it can still hunt outside that circle, that means if it can hunt outside that circle, listen up. If it can hunt, it's not a demon. A demon has a bigger radius around your crucifix than you can see. It's around 2 or 3 meters wider, but let's say it's only, yeah, I would say it's about this part to this part. And if it still can hunt in this small space, that means not a demon. But a demon cannot hunt there and will always burn the crucifix. But make sure you check it, because it can be random that spawns where the crucifix is. It prefers that maybe. Let me just grab temps, 1 degrees. By the way, you need 0 degrees to have freezing. This is not cold yet, but I have doubts it's a mimic. I don't think it's a mimic, not directly. And yeah, it's ghost orb and ultraviolet, so it can be a Banshee, a Hantu, or Obake. But the yurei actually likes to do weird things with the door. Like, it doesn't just close it like this, it just immediately bugs it like this. And I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, but what you can easier see is that your sanity is draining very fast. In the light, of course. If it's in the dark, I haven't taught you this about Mare. If you're in the dark, the Mare will drain your sanity very fast and can hunt earlier. If you have lights on, the Mare can't hunt you faster, so good one for the Mare. But the yurei is a very annoying ghost to find. But it has a lot of paranormal sound frequency too, so it likes to do things with the parabolic microphone. The Oni is probably the easiest, because if you see an airball and you hear a sort of sis, then it's probably not the Oni. Because the Oni cannot do that airball event. Every single other ghost can do it. That's actually how I always find it. And like I said with the blinking, it's different. And with the blinking, always check with Obake, because Obake has a random chance to turn into a different ghost for just 1 second or something, and it looks completely different. It's a different model, and then you know the Obake has been faking it. And the Obake always has fingerprints. It also always has ultraviolet, and it's always... it can be 6 fingers, and if you see 6 fingers, it's not... it's the Obake. 6 fingers is Obake. I almost feel like we need to break this video down in shorter steps or something. Well, Yokai is pretty much deaf, but somehow... But if you talk in the ghost room a lot, it will activate a hunt directly and try to kill you. Yokai is crazy. So right now, you know I have 2 evidence. And I need to find out if it's a Banshee, an Hantu, or an Obake. Well, the Hantu is very fast. And because I don't have freezing temps, it's not an Hantu. I got fingerprints, I can test for Obake fingers. And then we got the Banshee, which can do the screaming. But what I actually need to do is to test the ghost in a hunt. I need to check if I got the correct item before I die. So the Hantu is number 14. The Hantu is very fast if it's cold. If it's warmer in a room, it will immediately slow down. And the Hantu is very sensitive to cold. And if I'm right, Hantu always has freezing temps. Let me double check that. Okay, so listen up. The Obake always has fingerprints. The Hantu always has freezing temps. The Goryo always has dot projector. The Deogen always has spirit box. And Moroi always also has spirit box, if you have one evidence. So it's the primary evidence and it's part of their ability. So for example, the Hantu is faster in the cold. Deogen likes to do things screaming in the spirit box. The Moroi also has a specific interaction. It doesn't really like to hunt. It's pretty shy. Oh wait, I just broke the light. Crazy. But yeah, so the next one, 15, is Goryo. Goryo always has dots. And then I know it's not Goryo. The Goryo, you cannot see the dots in real. So right here, I cannot see it. But on the camera, I can always see it. So if you look on the camera and you see dots, you think, oh, it's dots. But if you want to make sure it's a Goryo, don't stand in the ghost room. Stand a little bit further away. And look on the camera and in real life, just like this. And look in real life if it is a Goryo or not, because you will know directly. What I want to do right here is actually do the ghost for a loop, because it's going to be the easiest way for me to know if this is an Obake or not. If I don't get spawn killed, it would be nice. I'm very scared to get spawn killed, I'm not gonna lie. And I have all the knowledge in the world, but surprise attacks, no, thank you. Okay, so what I think I want to do is to sit on this crucifix right here. It's gonna sit here. I'm gonna talk about the rest of the ghost. The 16th is Myling. The Myling has very soft steps when it walks down, and it immediately changes the value. You know it's the Myling because it has very soft steps. It's pretty much a silent hunter, and it will 9 out of 10 times get parabolic. On the parabolic microphone, I will have steps, so you can hear that. It's pretty funny actually. And the Myling is very silent, so if you sit on upper level and it goes down, immediately hear the difference, probably a Myling, but you need to make sure, of course. The Onryo has something very funny with light. If you have a candle, it cannot hunt. Come on, man. Maybe it's a Banshee. It is doing a lot of events. Like, it likes to do such personal things, the Banshee. That's why the Banshee is pretty funny. It just knows I want to keep the door open. It just knows. I mean, that's crazy. That's the Banshee. It's crazy. While the Onryo cannot hunt while there's a light in the room, so the Onryo prefers to not have any candles in the room, and it cannot hunt while doing that. So put a candle on top of a crucifix. If it always burns the candle instead of the crucifix, it is probably an Onryo. The Onryo will not burn the crucifix if the flame is on it. I'd like to do so many events. This is crazy. Such a Banshee. I just know it. Well, the next one is twins. It's again not a hunt. What is it trying to do? What are you trying to prove? Oh yeah, by the way, you cannot get a hunt while the event is starting, but you can get a hunt after an event. So the event just ended, you can hunt, but cannot hunt while the event is working. The twins, like I said, does multiple interactions everywhere. You pretty much need to hear to the footsteps, and that it does interactions around the house. Like it is in the room and there is another twin, and then you can hear it's probably the twins. So look out for double interactions pretty much. You can see it on the activity monitor. It will be very small, but yeah, I usually just look for twins with the speed, like the 90% to 120. You can hear the difference. The Raiju is fast when there is equipment on. So if the lights are on, the Raiju is very fast. So it's pretty much everything electronic within a 15-meter distance. So let's say one step is 15 meters, you can count them, and it's pretty big range. This whole room, it can be very fast. The more equipment, the faster it becomes. So be very careful with the Raiju. Obake, like I said, it's the blinking, the model change, and of course the 6 fingers. This is such a Banshee. It's crazy. Come on, man. But yeah, 6 fingers. If you see 6 fingers once, it's immediately an Obake. No doubt. It's not even a mimic. And now we're going to talk about 21, which is the mimic. The mimic always has ghost orbs, even though there's no evidence. The mimic can pretty much become any other ghost. And the only way to really find it is that evidence trick. Because eventually it should make sense that, yeah, you only have so much evidence you can select. And that's 4 evidences, which is crazy. So if you see many different types of ghosts in one round, that means it's probably a mimic. But the mimic I would do as last, because it's very difficult, and work with the ghost orb. It's hunting. You can, by the way, if it's hunting, you cannot flicker any lights. You cannot turn it off or on. It's not possible. It doesn't break the breaker. It's probably a Jinn. I don't know. It does so many interactions. This is such a Banshee. I just know it. I mean, I want to do a hunt, man. I want to do a hunt. I think I have 0 grace period. That means it can immediately spawn, immediately kill me. So that's crazy. The next one is Moroi. Moroi, pretty much, yeah. The Moroi is faster at lower sanity. So the higher your sanity is in the truck, the slower the ghost should be. If it's 100% and you hear the Moroi, it's pretty much on speed almost. And we have no sanity, it's pretty fast, just like the Thaye. So make sure you have sanity you can add so you can test if it's a Thaye or not. The next one is Deogen. Deogen, like I said, you cannot hide. It's very fast. It slows down to almost slow motion when it comes near you. You can hear the difference. Run away. If you run... Hunting? That's hunting. Hello? Hello? By the way, Yokai, I didn't mention it, but the Yokai can see you but cannot hear you. So if you're out of line of sight and you talk, it should not come near you. The ghost should not do that. So that's how you know that. Deogen, like I said, it's speed and you cannot hide. It's impossible. It always finds you wherever you are. Thaye is number 24, which is finally the last ghost. It's the last ghost right here. You can see that Thaye is always fast and becomes slower over this longer session because it becomes older. You can ask the Raiju board how old the Thaye is, and Thaye will actually tell you how old it is. And if it's very old, it should be very slow. If it's very young, it should be very fast. It always begins at the younger age, and that's how you know the Thaye. I'm going to need to finish this session and show it's the Banshee. Oh my god. Bro, can you come here for a second? Can you come here? Would be nice. Finally did the 24 ghosts. Come on, boy. I'm not gonna step off this crucifix. I'm not an idiot. I don't know if I know I have 0 ghost period. Like, this is crazy. Oh yeah. Another... Oh my god. I was so scared there. Another quick tip. Hantu. If you see the Hantu and it does cold breath out of his mouth, it's an Hantu. Yes, if you see that on the ghost. All good tips, you know. I'm pretty sure this is a Banshee. Oh my goodness, man. Get out of here. I'm gonna go home. Yeah, these option objectives are pretty easy. If you just keep the crucifix on the ghost room, which is where the ghost orb is, for example, it should be fine. I'm gonna go home. This is definitely a Banshee. I'm pretty sure it's a Banshee. No, Obake wouldn't do this. This is crazy. And if I'm right, you owe me a subscribe. It can also be a mimic. I'm always so scared for the mimic. That's your proof that I know what I'm talking about. Make sure you subscribe. And you share this with everyone that's playing Phasmo. And I'm very sorry my camera is, I think, stuttering. It will be alright. I hope you learned something with this video. These are 24 ghosts. Actually 25. Twins is 2, right? But still, yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you consider liking and subscribing this video. And sharing with everyone you know. Comment down below what your favorite session was. How crazy did the ghost make you before you discovered which one it was. I will see you in the next one. And I'll see you there. Goodbye.